Chelsea Wolfe in session from BBC Maida Vale Studios. They recorded it exclusively for us like 2 weeks ago. Pretty excited, won't lie. I saw the band play like the other week in London and it was amazing. In fact, if you were listening to last week's show, I apologise for the amount that I went on and on about the Chelsea Wolfe gig. Alright? Sorry. That may happen again though, but we've got the session, so, you know, cut me some slack. Chelsea Wolfe in session from BBC Maida Vale Studios. They recorded it exclusively for us like 2 weeks ago. Pretty excited, won't lie. I saw the band play like the other week in London and it was amazing. In fact, if you were listening to last week's show, I apologise for the amount that I went on and on about the Chelsea Wolfe gig. Alright? Sorry. That may happen again though, but we've got the session, so, you know, cut me some slack.
Hey, this is Chelsea Wolfe. Yeah, I started playing music at a young age. My dad was in a band while I was growing up, so I was kind of naturally exposed to music and recording and shows and things like that. And when I would go to his house on the weekends, I would sort of sneak into the studio with him, and eventually he started teaching me how to record on like a little Tascam 8-track and playing some keyboards and guitar and things. So yeah, I was already writing poetry, and I just decided to set it to music, and that was kind of how I started. I was around 9 years old probably, and never really stopped from there. But I never really considered that I could be a musician for a career or anything, because I was just such a shy person, and making music and making art was kind of a really personal thing for me. And it took me until I was, a few years into my 20s, and people would overhear me writing and recording, my friends or whatever, and kind of encourage me, like, you should share that with people or try and play a show or something. And so I started playing shows, and even from there it took me a while to like get the confidence to continue to do it and push myself to get a band together and make the shows, bigger. And eventually I went out with this group of performance artists in 2009, and we did like a European tour where I was kind of like the resident musician at the end of each night, and I would do these acoustic sets and sometimes electric sets and just kind of try out new songs and things. And that was really good for me to just kind of have this accepting audience that was willing to allow me to like figure myself out in front of them. When I got back from that trip in 2009, I made my first album, The Grime and the Glow, and kind of went back to my roots and recorded it on that Tascam 8-track that my dad had given me many years ago. And from there I kept making records and kept pushing on and playing shows, and here I am. The session was really cool. Simon was great to work with, really positive, which is kind of a nice vibe when you're trying to record and just be yourself and really lose yourself in the songs. I've done a couple sessions before for radio or, video blogs or whatever, but this one was kind of more focused on the music and on the songs and just getting a recording that sounds really good. So it was really fun for me, because that's kind of my main thing too, is just making sure the songs sound really good and have the right atmosphere. So yeah, it was great.
I
That sounded weird after an incredible Chelsea Wolfe session, but it was sound advice. If you do download that app, you will be able to listen to that session, carry it around with you on your portable mobile device for a month. And I think it's worth doing, because that was one of the best sessions I've had ever, I think. That was incredible. Chelsea Wolfe in session after the fall. Before that, Carrion Flowers. We're going to have 2 more tracks in the 3rd hour of the show. Sounded so good. You're listening to the Radio 1 Rock Show, me, Daniel P. Carter. It was one of the best sessions that we've ever had on the show since I've been doing it. Don't take my word for it. Grant says, completely forgot I was listening to a session. Sounds more like an album. Elliot says, never heard Chelsea Wolfe before now. Really like him. New fan over here. Sophie says, I think I may have just fallen a little bit in love with Chelsea Wolfe after hearing her session on The Rock Show. Sam says that Chelsea Wolfe session sounded incredible. We got 2 more tracks now. And if you missed the other ones, you will be able to download the show. Just go to iPlayer or get the iPlayer radio app. This is Chelsea Wolfe in session from Maida Vale. Check it out.
Radio 1's Rock Show with Daniel P. Carter in session at Maida Vale. Maida Vale. Maida Vale. Maida Vale. Maida Vale.
Yeah, the new record, Abyss, I definitely wanted it to have a heavier sound. I mean, we've been touring for a few years now, and we've been touring with a lot of really heavy bands and really good rock bands, and there's kind of this element of fun to that kind of music, you know, like heavy guitars and really being able to get into it. And I think I wanted that as well for my next album, so we definitely purposefully wrote some like heavier, you know, guitar-based songs and things like that. But also the subject matter was heavy in a sort of different way, and that's kind of where the concept of Abyss came from, like this really deep internal, you know, digging into yourself and like confronting things that you haven't in a while. At the same time, this contrast of the whole universe as this wild, endless abyss, and in that way it's kind of like frantic and confusing and dreamy, and you know, a lot of nightmares and my experiences with sleep paralysis inspired it as well. So there's a lot of different elements that went into the album, but it kind of all tied together in this really unique way. So yeah, it's all about like going really deep and going really heavy. Yeah, I suffer from something called sleep paralysis. Yeah, I mean, it's been a little bit disorienting in the past, but I've gotten more used to it now, which is kind of strange. It's just kind of like a part of my life, and it's not really a big deal. You know, I think I just started writing about it without even really realizing it, you know, because I wake up in the morning and I have the people or figures from my dreams still in the room with me, so it's kind of this weird place between waking and dreaming, and I think a lot of my songs exist in that strange reality as well.
Chelsea Wolfe in session from BBC Maida Vale. Incredible. After Merker last week, then this one this week. Feel like we're on somewhat of a roll. Amazing. The album Abyss is out now. Came out in August on Sargent House. You should pick it up. It is one of the albums of the year, hands down. Incredible, beautiful piece of work. And whilst we're on the subject of Chelsea Wolfe, Converge have just announced that they're going to be playing Roadburn Festival. They're going to do a couple of very special sets. I think they're going to be playing... that they're going to be doing Jane Doe in full, but then they're also doing another set as well, which they're calling the Blood Moon Collaborative Set, which is going to feature guest musicians, which will be Chelsea Wolfe, Ben from Chelsea Wolfe's band as well, Stephen Brodsky, Steve Von Till from Neurosis, and we're going to be doing some of the slower, more... slower, more ambitious work from Converge's back catalogue, which will be something to see.